Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Just bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie will connect you with local pros who match your specific needs. Or book a service instantly at an upfront price. So join the millions of homeowners who use Angie to care for their homes and get your next home service job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
All four of us, well, the three of them are not speaking to him, and then when he sued me, I stopped speaking to him as well.
Why is nobody speaking to him?
Well, when my mother passed away, after he met this woman, he changed.
This is the plaintiff, Frank. He says he bought a car for the defendant, his daughter, and she got into an accident and is pocketing the insurance money. That's right, his own flesh and blood is ripping him off on a car, which is in his name and which he paid for. He's here to teach his daughter a lesson. Can't believe he has to sue her for the $2,010.53 she owes him. But hey, it is what it is. This is the defendant, Patricia. She says the plaintiff, her father, bought her the car as a gift. She was paying all the insurance costs on it, and the only reason he's suing her now is because the new woman in his life is money hungry and making him turn on his own daughter. That's right, the woman is bad news, but she knows the law is on her side, and she owes nothing. She is accused of dissing a dad.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
You seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
Frank, you've asked to be referred to only by your first name. You are suing your daughter, Patricia. You have also asked to be referred to only by your first name for $2,010.53 that you say she owes you from insurance proceeds that came in on a car that you had been paying for. Tell me what happened.
Well, it started when my wife passed and she needed a vehicle, so I sold her.
Wait, your wife passed and your daughter needed a vehicle?
That's correct.
Okay.
So I sold her a vehicle.
You sold your daughter a vehicle?
Right,
What
which
vehicle?
she agreed to pay monthly payments on. In addition, I also paid for her insurance.
Okay. What vehicle was that?
That was a 2003 Ford Taurus.
Okay. And what happened with that car?
That car was totaled. So again, she was without a vehicle.
It was totaled through her fault or no fault?
Her fault.
Her own
yes.
fault, okay.
Yes. Then, since she was needing of another car, I purchased another car for $9,500. And again, she agreed to make monthly payments.
Okay, to you.
That's correct.
So why are you buying cars for your daughter?
Well, because she didn't have them and she needed help, so I thought I was being a great parent.
Okay.
And supplying her with the car that she needed. In turn, she was supposed to pay me $150 a month for that.
Okay, and did she make monthly payments?
No.
Never?
Never. Not one.
Well, what was she saying to you every month?
Well, she tried to say, well, she felt it could be in her inheritance.
Okay, but who's that lady there?
This is my fiance, and she's been witness to most of this.
In fact, according to you, you think she's the cause of most of this.
Yes.
Okay. Who are the women with you?
My sister and my niece.
Okay. How many children are there?
There's 4.
What's going on?
All 4 of us, well, the 3 of them are not speaking to him, and then when he sued me, I stopped speaking to him as well.
Why is nobody speaking to him?
Well, when my mother passed away, after he met this woman, he changed. And so he, first of all, in the month that he had bought me the car, when the when the 2003 Ford Taurus was totaled, he had already made an agreement to upgrade the car to the 2008 HHR through the dealership because he'd worked at the dealership and the dealer's wife had traded that car in. He said it's a really great car, it's a really great deal.
When you say agreement, agreement involves two people giving up something. He was going to do that and you were going to do what? Or you mean
he came at me and wanted to trade in the Taurus for this car. He
Okay, was
wanted
the
that
Taurus
car
under
because he
his
thought
name?
it was a good deal.
Was the Taurus under his name?
The Taurus was in his name.
Did you ever pay for the Taurus?
I did not.
All right, were you supposed to pay for the Taurus?
Well, we had talked about it, but we never agreed upon a price. We never wrote anything up. There's no bill of sale. There's no paperwork saying the agreement at all. And he was actually the one that approached me about putting it in the will because the same month that he got the 08 Ford Taurus for me, I had a quadruple bypass surgery. I had not been able to work since.
So what happened then?
So
According to you, he gives
yeah.
it to you as a gift?
Yes. Well, he was going to put
Hold
it
on.
in the will. He was going to put it in the will.
So he gives it to you as an advance
Right.
in the will.
In the will.
Did you ever change your will?
That was never agreement.
But here's my question.
No,
Did you ever
no.
change it? Okay. So it was never to be a gift, which is what you said in the answer to the complaint. In the answer to the complaint, you say, this is a gift that he gave to me. So it was never a gift. It was
well,
that
yeah,
you couldn't afford to pay it. He
Right.
knew it. But the original plan, had you not had that, had the coronary issues, the original plan was that you were going to pay it?
Not.
Why would it be an advance? My
no,
dear,
I mean,
it's one or the other.
Yeah.
If you're saying it's an advance, that's your way of not having to pay it because you're supposed to pay it.
Right.
So either, if you're not supposed to pay it, why would you say it's an advance? Then it's just a gift. So which is it?
I mean, it only we had talked about it. We had talked about a
Which
price.
is
We
it?
had talked about
Is it a gift
putting
or is it
it
something
in,
that was supposed to be an advance because you couldn't pay it?
It was a gift.
Whoa.
That doesn't sound believable given everything else
Well,
you said.
I mean, because he was the one that came at me and wanted to.
It doesn't matter if
Right.
your parent is
And
trying to help you out and
then
get you a better
the,
car.
The Taurus got totaled. There was $3,500 that he was supposed to put down on the HHR that he did not.
What's an HHR?
That's the vehicle, the 2008 Chevy HHR.
You mean the new one?
The
That he
new
was
one that
supposed to put
he
down on
wanted.
what?
That he wanted to buy because it was such a great deal. And I told him I didn't have any money to pay a car payment. He's like, I know, but this is a really good car. It was the dealer's wife. It's in perfect condition. And he loves a good deal. So I was like, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to not take the vehicle from him.
Oh, you could.
Because I didn't have a vehicle.
You could. You're 50. I mean, at some point we got to just,
Right,
we got to
but
separate
because
ourselves
of
from
my
them.
health, I was not able to work, so
And
I wasn't able to
understand that.
finance
Here's
a
where
vehicle.
the problem lies. The car gets totaled through no fault of yours. Somebody ended up running a stop sign and hitting you. Then there's an insurance check, and you kept the insurance check. He's suing you for it, right? The insurance check, part of it paid off the loan, and then the excess, the residue that went to you that you pocketed was $2,010.53, correct? And he's suing you for that because he says, well, that's not hers. This is supposed to be mine because the car was under his name, right?
Correct.
The car was registered to him. I paid, the insurance was in my name, and I was the only driver of the vehicle, and I insured the vehicle with the collision coverage on it.
Did the check come in his name and your name, or just your name?
Just my name. I have the stub for part of the payment that shows just
Can I
my
see
name
it?
on it.
And what do you say to that?
I say,
So there's
first
the
of all,
letter
on the
and
first
the thing with
vehicle, she
my name.
agreed to pay $100 a month for it. And the
And she
price.
didn't,
She
right?
never paid one penny.
And that
Also,
vehicle was around and you were making payments how many months?
2 years.
And then we have another 27 months with this car that she's supposed to pay you in dozens. So we're talking about 50-something months of you're not getting payment. When does it become a gift in your eyes? When is it just a father doing something for his daughter because he wants to, because she's his daughter, because she loves him, and because she has health issues? When is it that I should start to look at it as a gift?
In addition to that, to help her, I allowed her to take a loan against my stock, of which she still owes on that as well. So,
But that's not the subject of this lawsuit.
No, it isn't, but the total sum is, in essence, she owes me approximately $20,000.
Is your wife is your fiance angry at you over this?
No.
What, are you going to turn around and find out now? Did you want to come up and testify, sister, or you want to stay exactly where you are?
You saw that, like, he
Only that he had told me that he got her a car because it was going to go in the will, and the other 3 were getting the money that my mother had arranged for us to get. So he did tell me that the car would be a part of the will. And he did change the will. He took us all out of it and put his new fiance in it. So
wait, he did what?
He changed the will.
It's his to change.
But he said he didn't change the will.
How do you know he changed the will?
Because he told us.
Oh, he did tell you?
Yeah, he did tell us.
I told
he
only
took all us kids out of
Patricia.
it.
You told one child and she told everybody else?
I was the only one speaking to him for the last 2 years.
That's
He-
not-
Do you have, how many children do you have?
4.
Nobody's speaking to you? That's got to be painful.
Well, as a result of this, she is not speaking to me
Yeah,
either.
but how about the other ones weren't speaking to you before that?
However, I do have good rapport with most of the grandchildren, and
Well, that's good, but I mean,
in
doesn't
addition-
it? If I had 4 kids who weren't speaking to me, I'd try to figure out what the heck I could do to fix that. What do you think is the problem?
It's a lot of jealousy and anger.
Over what?
Well, I'm not really sure.
Don't you want to know?
Yes, it would be
Why
nice.
are you angry?
We were a very knit family. We
Close-knit.
were very close knit. Sorry, I'm nervous.
That's right.
My mother pretty much held up the family. After she passed, we were still close. Then he met her, and which, long story, but he wasn't himself anymore. He did things that he would never have done before.
Like what?
Well,
Brought her
like
into
change
my
a
mother's
will.
house and slept in my mother's bed with her.
That's not the reason. He just did a lot of things that my father wouldn't did. And we feel that she came in pretty much wanted him to have nothing to do with his family. And that's what happened.
What came first, not talking to your dad or your dad taking you guys out of the will?
I myself stopped speaking to my father because we were always welcome in our home. My brothers, who was...
What did that mean? You used too many pronouns.
He locked us out of the house.
After he met her.
And we've walked in the house, and she's been there and stopped her from going up the stairs, stopped her, like, where are you going? Very possessive of my mother's house.
Most of that is totally incorrect.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So if somebody stole money from you, okay, would you sue them if she was your daughter?
Absolutely not, because that's your daughter and family.
She stole from you.
But family is family.
But she stole from you.
I think that you should talk to her about it. I mean, maybe not sue her, but you know.
She doesn't respect you enough that she's going to steal money.
I would put her over my knee and whip her tooth to oblivion. This is what I would do. I would teach her how not to be the way she was.
Okay, I think she'd rather be sued, okay, going inside the courtroom.
It's common knowledge to lock a home when you're not there.
I never was.
Also,
Yeah, but you changed the locks, which
And
is
I-
really
and I-
intended for them not to be able to get in.
I
So what
had
was
to-
that? Why don't you come on up, fiance?
I
Come on up.
had
Yep,
to.
yep, you.
I had to because my son came into my home. He threatened me, and then he threatened her.
What did he threaten about? What was
He said he could have her taken out. Have her
Why do you
taken out.
suppose there was such problem with all the children in you?
I had never met the children, ever. And one evening, his son Jim came into the house. We were sitting in the living room. The door was not locked. And he came in and started yelling and screaming at his father about having me in his mother's house.
How long previously, how long before that had the mother died?
3 years. And so he and his son were having words, and his son ripped the pictures of his children off of the wall, saying that he didn't ever want his children to come into the house again, and that I had no place being there.
Okay. So did you ever have any discussions with them to try to amend that? You know, to try to...
I've never spoken with
You're
his
like,
sons
peace out,
at
this is
all.
not my issue. All right.
No, never.
It's interesting, you know, because...
But he did-
Wait, no.
I'm sorry.
I know exactly, but I mean, I got it. Okay? I got it. They're looking at this and they're thinking she And she's just like, hey, I just came on this. That she has changed you. And that you have allowed her to change you, and that you have allowed your new life to erase your past life. And that's what they're angry about.
Yeah.
And you try to see it his way, which is, oh my gosh, I've done everything for my kids. I've always belonged to them. I've always done for them. I've always helped them. They're 50 years old. I'm buying them cars, a second car. I'm doing this, and it's not enough. I have to give them my last remaining years on this earth. I can't be happy. Okay, so everybody just try to think about the other person's point of view. And may I recommend the idea of an independent therapist, perchance mending this family back together. But I'm just throwing this out for size. What I have in front of me then is this. The fact that the car's still in his name, and the fact that you said, well, why don't you just make it an advance on the will, which indicates that it wasn't a gift. And what am I supposed to do with the fact that if it wasn't a gift at the beginning, does it turn into a gift when you just keep making the payments? What would have happened if the car hadn't been totaled? What would you have done? Let's say you finished the pay. Let's say there's 10 payments left. 10 more months passed, the car wasn't totaled, and you paid all the payments. Then what were you going to do? Because you know you were never expecting a penny of payment from her. We both know that. So what would you have done?
I certainly wouldn't have bought her another car.
Well, I hope not, but you might have. I don't know, you might have. But what would you have done? What you would have done is nothing. It's what you have been doing. It just would be her car, right?
Yeah.
I think that at some point after 40-something months of this, it does become a gift. It does become no expectation of payment. And I'm calling this your money and not money that you owe on the car. Because I fully believe that had there not been an accident, he would have never expected you to pay.
Okay.
He just would have taken care of it the way he appears to have taken care of it. That's my verdict. Doesn't solve a whole lot though, does it? Good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the dad's out here on the plaintiff side, and it's so sad to see a family in court like that. How did this feel for you?
It feels very, very bad. I've done everything for my kids all my life. I had nothing growing up. And as a result, I really spoiled them, did everything for them. And then in turn, she has the audacity to keep the money that really belongs to me. So.
They say you're the cause of the split between father and daughters and family. And there you are.
I don't feel as though I've done anything to do that at all.
You did mention that you had not met the kids after those couple of years. How come you never met the kids before that?
Because they were not speaking to him before I came into the picture.
Okay, around the corner this way. All right, so what's going through your mind here?
Well, I mean, I'm happy that they didn't award him the money because I truly felt it was mine. I was the one that insured the vehicle, and it's been years.
Is it about money, really?
It's not. I was the one that was speaking to him all along. I didn't stop speaking to him. Just my siblings did. And it wasn't until I received the papers that he was taking me to court that I stopped speaking to him.
Where do you go? Where does the family go from here?
I've already been to counseling, and they told me to stay away from my father, so.
Yeah.
And then you're okay with that answer?
Yeah, I am. He chose it, not me.
Sad.
Harvey?
It's really sad.
Okay, Kurt, the conduct of the parties often determine whether it's a loan or a gift. Here, clearly no expectation of payment. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Whether it's routine maintenance, an emergency repair, or a dream project, Angie lets you compare quotes from multiple local pros, browse homeowner reviews, and even book a service instantly. Angie's been connecting people with skilled pros for nearly 30 years. So the next time you have a home project, bring it to Angie to get your job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
These are the plaintiffs, William and Sarah Lieberman. William says he hired the defendant to power wash his front path to get rid of the weeds and moss that was growing between the cracks and paid him in full, but the job wasn't completed. The main part of the job was to fill the cracks in with a sand-like substance, which prevents the weeds and moss from growing back. And he didn't do it. Time and time again, they called asking for the job to be completed, and time again, they were told the big blow-off. So here they are. They're suing for $1,500, the amount they paid. This is the defendant, Drew. He says he works on the plaintiff's heating and cooling system in their house, and they asked him to power wash their pavers to rid them of weeds and moss. He told them the pavers weren't installed properly because no liner was present, and also told them the weeds would grow back, which they did. Now it's his fault? He thinks not. He's accused of causing a weedy big problem.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff hired the defendant to power wash his property to get rid of the weeds, says the job was terrible. But the defendant says pavers weren't installed right. It's the case of you crack me up.
Thank you, Douglas. William and Sarah Lieberman?
Yes.
You are suing Drew. You've asked to be referred to only by your first name, Drew, and to not mention your company name, for $1,500 that you paid him to do some work that, according to you, they did not finish.
Correct.
All right, what happened?
So back in May, we hired Drew and his brother to come and do some work for us on the air conditioning unit, and while they were there...
On what?
On our air conditioning unit.
Okay.
And while they were there...
That's actually what your profession is, right? You're HVAC guys?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
While they were there, I asked them, did they know anybody that could do power washing? They said, yes, we happen to have started our business doing power washing, so we can power wash the pavers in the back and in the front of the house. We have a lot of pavers. So I pointed out exactly what needed to be done, including all the weeds that were growing between each and every paver, as well as the ants that would crawl up and all the dust that would come out.
Wait, you pointed out that those need to be power washed?
Yes, I said we have to power wash all the pavers and put sealant to prevent that from recurring.
You told him, I want you to put sealant.
Yes.
Okay, what kind of sealant?
So it's a polymeric sand.
Did you tell him what it was that you wanted?
I mentioned the phrase polymeric sand, which is a type of sand that is for this purpose, yes.
Do you have a written contract?
No.
Okay.
So they said, I paid them the money. Then these weeds came back within 6 to 8 weeks. And I said, hey, there's still a problem. The weeds came back, the moss came back, et cetera. So they said, okay, well, we'll come by and take a look. So I go, okay, when are you coming by? 2 weeks go by. When are you coming by? 2 weeks go by. Then they said, well, we're getting trained on how to do the sand. And I go,
okay, talk to me. What did you guys think you were doing then?
Okay, to take all the weeds out, to power wash all the weeds out, and to take all the mold and discoloration from the bricks, because he has bricks in the back of his home, the side of his home, in front. It's a big job. So we told him we'd have to actually sit there and scrub some of the bricks because they were actually molded from all the green peat moss that would come between the bricks and everything. But we also told them that when we took away the weeds, that the weeds will grow back.
No, weeds grow back, but he says that you guys were supposed to lay down that
yeah, on the
magical, new technology or whatever. I don't know how new it is. How new is it? Do you know?
I don't know.
Where you lay down this sand that is really, so when it gets wet, it kind of hardens, and then it discourages the insects and all that stuff. Did you agree to do that?
No, not until after the job was done.
You seriously saying that? You're saying that was never part of the job, laying down any sand?
Well, the sealant was, not the sand. The sand came after the fact that he was upset about the weeds growing back.
Did he ever tell you that he wanted a particular sealant that would stop the weeds from growing?
No.
Okay. Did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
So if you power wash all around the weeds and then seal it, will that get rid of the weeds for good? What do you think?
Well, weeds are weeds. Weeds are meant to grow. So.
But if you seal it, will it keep it down?
I've never heard of that.
What do you think? It sound like a good plan?
No.
Why?
Yeah, I'd rather get a professional gardener to take.
Well, right, but weeds do come back. What do you think? You seem like maybe you've had some experience.
If it was properly done.
So if you seal it, the weeds will never come back?
Right.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
The prior year, we had somebody else come in, just friends of ours, come do the job for several hundred to $700, and the weeds came back. And they said, well, if you want them to stop coming back, you have to put sealant and sand, this polymeric sand, between every one. And there's an easy way to do it. You just lay the sand out with a broom, wet it, and it hardens. And that's
now,
exactly what I
when
do.
he told you this is what I expected, did you guys communicate by text?
Yes.
So how long did what they do last?
4 weeks.
4 weeks before you started telling them, hey, weeds are growing back?
Yep.
Okay, you send him a text that says, I'm on the landscaper's job site now. He's teaching me to lay the sand now. I'll call you at the end of my school day. Explain that sentence.
That would be my partner. He was talking to him at that time. So we could learn how to do it, because when we went back after the fact that after the time that we did the job, we went back as a courtesy because he said the weeds grew back. That's when he came up with the whole putting the sand between the bricks. We didn't know how to do that. We're not landscapers. Like I said, we're an HVAC company. This is when he brought up and told us the opportunity.
Apparently you guys are agreeing to do that.
We were talking about it because we had to learn how to do it. But then again,
No. You're more than talking about. You're making several appointments for it. You're making like 6 appointments that you failed to appear to. Who are you talking to? Is his partner or him?
I don't know. It's that number.
Would be my partner.
Where's your partner?
Right now, he's in the hospital.
Oh, sorry to hear it.
Yeah.
All right, he's got a good reason for sending you. What sealant did you put down?
We put a sealant. It was for the bricks. The bricks, it has a sealant for the actual bricks, for the wind, for the water, so they don't crack. The sealant costs like 5 gallons. It's almost like $80 5 gallons of it. 25
Okay, but are
gallons
you telling me, as you stand here, that the guy never said to you anything about the weeds and making sure the weeds didn't come back?
When we first discussed the job in the beginning, he had tried to do the job himself, and he asked and told us that when he tried it, that he didn't think he did it right because the weeds grew back. And since that day, we told him, sir, the weeds are going to grow back because you don't have a liner under your bricks. Everyone knows that. That's just common sense. You can't stop what God intended for the nature to do.
No, you can.
But
you can stop it. That's what this sand does. It's not regular sand. It's like a sand with these composites and this plastic and everything else. And then once it gets wet, it hardens.
No, I understand what it is.
So I just don't understand why you guys just didn't finish it if you kept telling me you were going to.
Like I said, the first original $1,500.
And why should they pay back $1,500 when they still ended up spit polishing all your stuff?
Well, only because I have to redo it again.
Well, but is there no value to what they did where you would be asking for $1,500? I mean,
It was supposed to last, they said this would last 2 years.
Do you even know what that product you want costs? Like, in other words, with this other person who's charging $2,200,
that's
did you
with the cost of the
specify
sand.
the product you wanted?
I specified polymeric sand, but that's not a brand name. That's just the generic.
I'm going to order you to return the $1,500. And I'll tell you what kills you, all of these texts that I'm reading from your partner.
Even after the fact that...
I'm not listening to you. Tell me what your partner would tell me if your partner was here. Your partner's not here.
No, I'm just saying for myself, though, even after the fact that he wrote us those messages months after the job was done.
See, the problem is he says he always told you he wanted that polymer sand. You say he never told you. You have no contract.
So even after I showed him...
No, stop talking and listen.
All right.
He has no contract. I have to decide which of you is telling the truth. They tell me they already spent that last year and the weeds came back. So they know what they wanted, that they wanted the sand as a sealant, okay? And then I have your partner acting as though it is part of his job. He's not acting as though he's going to renegotiate. He's acting as, oh, sorry, the dog ate my homework. I got to get over there. I'm learning how to do it now. That's how he's acting. My verdict is for the plaintiff and the amount of the $1,500. Good luck, folks.
And so it's an all or nothing decision for the judge and nothing for the defendant's side. What's your reaction to this?
What's fair is fair. What are you going to do? I didn't have the contract. I need the proper paperwork to say what I could say.
Yeah. This is a courtroom. That's called evidence.
Yep.
Okay. All right. All right. Right down this way. Unfortunate for him because you win your case. What's your feeling here?
It was good. It's a lesson to be learned that you have to have everything in writing. And you have to trust the person that's doing the job is going to do the job they say they're going to do and agree to what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so what do you have in writing?
Well, I have enough, but next time I'm going to make sure I get everything written down.
You've been saying that here for 36 years.
I know. It's true.
Harvey?
Okay, I know you always can't do it, but whenever possible, hire a licensed contractor. They're bonded, all sorts of reasons. It's a better idea. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Randy. She says her roommate, the defendant, stiffed her on rent, smoked in his room, and for some ungodforsaken reason, peed on the rug in his room. To make matters worse, he told her he had a schoolboy crush on her and wanted to start a relationship. Yuck! Bottom line, she's now stuck with $2,514.58 worth of repairs and unpaid rent, and is suing for exactly that today. This is the defendant, Daniel. He says he and the plaintiff did not see eye to eye, to say the least, because he would constantly come home and walk in on her having sex with her boyfriend on the couch in the living room. He ended up moving out, and now she's blaming him for damages to the apartment, which he never did. As far as the stained rug goes, the plaintiff should be going after her nieces, nephews, and their pets instead of trying to come after him in court. He's accused of not holding it in.
Okay. All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant not only smoked in her room, but peed on the rug and then skipped out without paying rent. The defendant says she was always having sex in the living room. It's the case of you're in big trouble now.
Thank you, Douglas. Randy, you've asked to be referred to only by your first name. You're suing your former tenant for $2,514.58 that you say he owes you in damages and rent. Tell me what happened.
He moved in about February.
How did you meet him?
I put an ad on Facebook, and the church that he was going to go work for asked if this was they could come look at it, and they vouched for him. So I said, sure, we'll sign a lease.
Did you know that church or no?
I've heard of it, yeah. I know people who go there, but I'm not affiliated with it.
And what is your affiliation with the church?
I'm no longer there, ma'am.
But what was your affiliation?
I was a pastor on staff.
Okay, and why aren't you any longer there?
Theological differences.
Okay.
So around October, he admitted he had feelings for me, and things started to get kind of awkward. I let him know.
How did he admit that he had feelings for you?
He, on Facebook, messaged me, letting me know he had a crush on me and stuff, and I lived with my boyfriend as well, and I told him, that's not possible.
The boyfriend was a third roommate there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I told him, I appreciate the kind gesture, but I love my boyfriend, and that's not going to happen.
Okay.
After that, things started going kind of weird and awkward, and he was supposed to pay rent in November on the 10th, and it never showed.
His rent went from what day to what day? 10th to 10th?
10th to 10th.
Okay.
And his lease was
What
going
was rent?
It was $800.
And what happened?
I kept asking him where the rent was. It hadn't shown. Approximately around, I had the conversation.
You guys are living in the same place, right?
Yeah, and I asked him, and he usually puts it right by the stove with the underneath our little knife set,
Okay.
and hadn't seen it for a while. He comes up with the excuse that he left a money cash order check on the counter. I said, there's nothing there. I've been looking. Nothing's been on the counter. I haven't seen it.
Now, supposedly you left a money order?
Yes, ma'am.
Made out to whom?
It's Randy.
Okay, so did she cash it?
I have a receipt I don't have with me, unfortunately, but yes, that's all that was cashed. Yeah.
No. I need proof that she cashed it.
I can't produce that.
Listen.
Yes,
I need
ma'am.
proof that she cashed it. For you to have as a defense, I paid November rent.
Okay, I can't produce that.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate for you. Go ahead.
So I kept asking him what was going on, where is it? He kept coming up with excuses and then accused me of cashing the check. And I said I never got it. He just kept giving me a runaround.
And then don't tell me he left.
No, he wanted to invoke his squatting rights into my house.
What?
He wanted to squat.
What words did he use?
His lawyer, his exact wording.
Is this by text?
Yes. Would you like to see it?
Yeah, I would. Who the heck advised you that you have squatter rights?
In California, it's a law. My cousin's lawyer who advised me to do so.
To do what?
It's a thing called squatter rights, whereas you can't be thrown out for at least 2 months, and then you have time to produce everything you need. After that 2 months,
Wait, slow down. You have time to what?
You have time to produce anything to get everything you need to defend yourself.
Why would you need 2 months to prove that you paid something? You're being sued and you still can't prove you paid something.
You're right.
You know what that tells me? You didn't pay something. That's what it tells me. I have a receipt. I just didn't bring it to court. Let's think that one through, shall we, Pastor? Okay, let's think that one through. You're being sued for not payment of rent and many other things. And you actually don't bother to go to the bank and get proof that it was, oh wait, You have proof, but you left it at home. So you not only show up to court without it, you show up to the people's court with your hands in your pocket. And you expect anybody with connected brain cells to conclude anything other than that you're lying?
Okay, so this guy says, oh, I didn't bring the receipt, and that's the whole evidence in the case. Do you believe this?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, does it help if you know he's a pastor?
No. That does not help at all.
Well, pastors don't lie, right? Pastors don't lie.
It's not what you believe, it's what you can prove in a court of law. Unless he's a rabbi. It's different.
You look like Henry Kissinger. I can't stand it. I had to say it.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That's a compliment.
There you go, going inside the courtroom.
Wow, this is nuts. Just back and forth that he paid it. Mm-hmm. I paid it to somebody. Somebody cashed it, so I'm out, so I'm not paying you again. And then he just says, I'll be gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so no rent in November, no notice that he's leaving. He leaves.
Correct. I went in the room and come to shock to find out the damages done to the room.
And tell me what the damages are.
Well, first the smell was horrid. I have a witness statement as well. Urine smells to galore, like it's been months of
Hadn't you noticed that?
You know, I have a puppy, so as I walked down the hall, I thought maybe the puppy urinated in the hallway, so I clean it up and it would go away for a little bit. And kind of just was like, all right, well, maybe he's still having some accidents at night, and I'm just not seeing it. And then,
okay, so why do you all of a sudden think that he's urinating on the carpet, which is what your theory is now, rather than the puppy?
In the corner of the room, there was a towel laying down, and I went to go pick it up, and it's soaking wet. And I go smell that corner, and it is pure urine. So I rip up the corner, and you can see all the pee damage and all the urine damage in that corner as I start tearing up the carpet.
Did he have a pet?
No, he did not.
Well, what do you think was going on? You seriously think he was urinating on the carpet?
There's no other explanation for why urine.
Was there a bathroom?
Yeah, it was 5 steps away from his room.
Was everybody sharing the bathroom?
We shared the shower portion, but not the bathroom itself. We had our own bathroom.
Right.
Okay. Were you urinating on the carpet?
Absolutely not. That's ludicrous. Again, she said the bathrooms are right across my door. I would take 3 steps and I'm in the bathroom.
So why would he do that? You mean out of spite?
That's the only thing we can come up with. I have no idea where it would come from.
Do you have pictures?
I do. And then as I I furnished the room for him because he said he didn't have anything. Right. There's damages to the curtains, the bed mattress, trash as I move the bed.
Hold on. Sorry. What are these pictures supposed to depict? What is this a picture of?
That is the corner. That is where the urine is from.
And then what is this?
That's when I moved the bed to the side. That was everything that was behind the bed from after he left.
And what is it?
Just trash.
What
food,
is it?
Paper, plates, cups.
The heck? Why are you dumping all that? That's worse than my daughter's. What are you dumping?
No, I'm not. Of course not. Of course not.
So you think she's staging it?
I suppose so. I don't know what else it could be.
So, but how did the curtains become like that, and how did the rug get soaked with urine? How did those things happen?
Now, those things I can't attest to. The curtain, I can say I might have spilled coffee on there one morning. Like that, I can say. Now, when it comes to urine and such, that's far beyond me. When I left, that wasn't the case.
Do you have an affidavit from your boyfriend?
No, I have it from, I did someone outside the warrant. It's from his mom who came and witnessed it.
When did you make a decision that you were going to leave? What was it that caused you to decide that?
It was the frustration. Like I can't produce this as evidence, but I made the payment when she said, no, you're not having, you don't have it, you don't have it. Finally, I said, look, I'm better off just leaving and finding a cheaper place to be.
Why? Why aren't you better off just taking 10 minutes, going to the bank and proving she cashed it?
It was just the frustration. I was over it.
Why the frustration? Don't you want to know who stole your money
over.
if you really had a $500 money order there?
Well, truly at that point, like it was just a loss. I counted it as a loss. I could find a cheaper place to be. I had friends in the area.
Yeah, but wait a second. Why don't you go to the bank, figure out who did deposit it in their own account, and hold them accountable so that she is not out $500, Pastor?
Because
that's what you should do, because it should matter to you that she is out. I counted it as a loss. Loss for who? The loss is for her. If she's out, how is that humane and kind and everything else?
Because to my understanding, she'd received the money, and so I believe because...
Wait, who gave you that understanding?
Again, I can't produce that evidence for you.
No, just tell me who gave you that.
I had my record, my document showing that it was cashed.
That what? That it was cashed, or that it was cashed into her account?
That it was cashed. And
by whom?
By whom? I can't produce that for you. I can't give you that answer.
Wait a minute. When you went to the bank, did they tell you by whom?
No, I just said, has this been cashed? They said,
why
yes.
wouldn't you want to know by whom?
Because
what if her boyfriend stole it and he's a thief?
Then that's on her and her boyfriend.
Maybe. If. But how is it you don't want to trace by whom? You see?
I follow.
Because if you really had a money order, and if it really got cash, You'd want to know by whom.
My concern was simply to make sure
Now
it
I'm
was
starting to think
paid.
you might have been peeing all over the room. I don't know.
Ma'am, that's ludicrous.
Sounds ludicrous, but so does your explanation about the money order.
Okay.
I'm going to rule in your favor, but not in the amount that you're asking for. I find that the lack of paying rent was very proven.
Okay.
I'm also going to order him to pay the curtains, and I'm going to order him to pay a cleanup fee for a total of $920. Verdict for the plaintiff. That's my judgment. Good luck, folks.
All right, so the pastor, the defendant's out here after this verdict. What's your reaction to it?
It's over and it's done. Unfortunately, I came ill prepared, and so.
Why'd you do that?
I just like planning, I suppose.
What do you think happened in the closet there? How did that?
No,
what happened there?
That's all. I have no idea.
What did happen?
I can't tell you. I have no idea.
You have no idea about anything?
No idea. I suppose the animals came in and did what they did.
Anything else?
No.
Right, sir. This way.
All right, so step on in here. What's your feeling about what you got out of this decision?
I mean, I'm happy that, I did get something out of it. It was more of the respect factor and getting the point across you shouldn't destroy someone's home like that.
Do you think he was interested in you?
I mean, I have proof he did write it, but I'm okay.
Yeah. Do you think he did?
I mean, he said it. He did say he was. He did have. He did write it in an email to me.
You think that had something to do with this whole problem?
Probably. That's what I'm figuring.
All right, Harvey.
Okay, so this guy is saying that there's such a thing as squatters' rights in California. I can tell you for a fact there are not squatters' rights in California, and in most states it just doesn't exist the way he says.